Om Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamatsyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashakritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha. Om Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Om Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. Hari Om everybody. So we are now on the portion of Prarabdha for a Jivan Mukta Purusha. Prarabdha, the break is Prakarshena Arabdha. Prakarshena, very well, Arabdha begun. That which has very well begun. And what begins very well, or when the vasanas fructify, that time birth takes place. So this Prarabdha begins at birth of the body, and the body will continue as long as its Prarabdha is there. Whether that person realizes or not, even if a person gains realization in his lifetime, that realization, that knowledge does not have the power to destroy that which has already begun. Because Bhagwan himself is going to say, because it is like an arrow that has been shot out of the bow. It cannot in between, it cannot stop in between. It has to reach its destination. And therefore, the prarabdha of okay, one thing, prarabdha is only to the body. It is not to the atma. Soul doesn't have any prarabdha, body has. That's why the body has a beginning. When prarabdha, when it begins, prarabdha begins. When prarabdha ends, body ends. So it's not, prarabdha is the cause, body, living body is the effect. So when prarabdha matures, body takes birth, and when prarabdha finishes for that lifetime, the body dies. Okay, so it's not like, oh, body died and now the prarabdha ended. It is not like that. Prarabdha ended, therefore the body died. Prarabdha began, that's why the body got born. That is how it is, and it's only to the body. It has got nothing to do with the soul. These things about prarabdha have to be remembered. The other reason is, one thing is that the knowledge is not strong enough to destroy it. But imagine if it was strong enough to destroy prarabdha karma, then what would have happened is, any time a person realized, the body would immediately fall. Then who will be there to tell us? How will we even know that there is realization? So that is also one reason. And that is why also we see the realized masters also, their body gets diseased. We have seen our Gurudev, he had bypass surgery here in Houston, only it was done, right? So that is a heart disease. The body got it. the difference between a realized master and us is that the realized master says, it is my body's prarabdha. I have got nothing to do with it. We say, oh, yo, I got heart disease. I got COVID. Now what am I going to do? And that is the difference in the mindset. And therefore, as seekers, as spiritual seekers, we must develop this attitude. See, because now we have the intellectual knowledge. This is Shruti. I told you, Vivekachudamani for us at our level is as good as a Veda only. If Bhagavan Shankaracharya has written it, Tattva Bodh, Atma Bodh also for us, it is scripture. So if Bhagavan is saying that, right? So we may not have realized the self. We have not realized the self, but we can think like that now, that I am not the body. This thing that is happening to my body or to the mind also, because somebody might insult me. Intellect level, mind level, somebody might hurt me. I can say that, that is the prarabdha of my mind to feel sad, to feel depressed. So it is feeling depressed, it is feeling sad. I have got nothing to, at least let's practice saying that. Let's just practice. We need to practice separation from the body, mind, intellect. Okay. So that's why there's so many examples Bhagavan Shankaracharya is giving, so many characteristics, how the prarabdha works on the body. And it works for a realized master also, because it is a body. Realized master also has a body. As long as he has a body, prarabdha is there. So that there is no difference. But the attitude in the mind, his mind and our mind, that is where the difference is. We also have prarabdha. He also has prarabdha, he or she. Okay. My bookmark is on 452 or 451, 453. Oh, okay. Okay. 453. In my book, it is page 524. Vyagra buddhya vinirmuktaha bana paschatu gomatau natishtati chinnateva laksham vegena nirbharam. Thinking it to be a tiger, if an arrow is shot at an object, it does not then stop because it turns out to be a cow. It still pierces it with full force. This is a continuation of the previous verse, because in the previous verse, he said that just like an arrow shot at an object. That is how the previous verse ended. That's why I told you, once the bow, as long as the arrow is being held by the archer, he'll pull the string, he'll hold it. Till that time, it has not begun. But once he releases it, once it is released, body is born. The jiva takes birth in whatever body that he's supposed to. It's all predetermined. So it could be a human womb, animal womb, bird, reptile, whatever. And when that prarabdha will end, when the arrow will reach its destination. And therefore, here he says that once the arrow is shot, thinking that it is a tiger, whatever the archer may have thought, just because it turns out to be a cow, the arrow is not going to say, oh, this is a cow, I should be piercing a tiger. It's not going to say like that. So it's same thing with prarabdha karma. It's not going to say, oh, this person has realized now I should not do anything to the body. No. Whatever is going to happen to the body will happen, whether you have realized or not. And the very fact that birth took place indicates ignorance to a certain degree, but then that person has then got knowledge and then realized his true self. Okay. Now, prarabdham balavattaram khalu vidam bhogena tasya kshayah samyak jnana hutashanena vilaya prangsanchita gaminam brahmatmaikyam aveksha tanmayataya ye sarvada samstitaha tesham tat Tritayam nahi kvachidapi brahmaiva te nirgunam. Prarabdha is very powerful for the realized man and becomes not only through the exhaustion of its fruits, while the Sanchita and Agami are destroyed in the fire of perfect knowledge. But none of these three affects them who have realized Brahman and always live identified with it. They are truly the transcendental Brahman. One thing to understand here, even though it's, I mean, even though the verse is saying Prarabdha is very powerful for the realized man, powerful is it's powerful for an ignorant person also like us. It's not that just realized master has Prarabdha, we also have Prarabdha, which is much, it is as equally strong. And that is why he said it becomes not, means it gets exhausted only by experiencing. That's why experience becomes very important. Okay. Now, when we are going through the experience, we must not have, because that now experience it is, quote unquote, which means it could be a joyful experience, sorrowful experience, because it's experience. Okay. Prarabdha, we don't know what is Prarabdha going to bring. In a situation of joy, I must not have spraha. I've told you the word in Bhagavad Gita. The realized master is nispraha. Spraha is that longing to enjoy again. That longing I must not have. Sometimes people think, oh, Vedanta means very dry. If this, I should not enjoy. They think dispassion means I should not enjoy any situation. It is not like that. A situation comes, understand it is your prarabdha that has brought you that situation. Enjoy it. It's okay. There's good meal comes in front of you, some movie, some friends, long lost friends you meet. Enjoy, but don't have the notion, when is this going to happen again? That is what it is. And with sorrow, when it comes, understand again, it is my prarabdha, it is the body of the prarabdha. I have to exhaust it. Now, I have to experience sorrow. It could be pain in the body, disease in the body. Doesn't mean you're not supposed to take medication. We are not saying experiencing doesn't mean I won't do anything. I will just experience. It is not like that. You take medication, but understand that it is the prarabdha. So don't say that, oh, this should not have ever have happened to me again, ever happen. We don't know what the prarabdha is. So we say, okay, this has come. Let me do whatever that needs to be done. Do it and move on. Move along. Move along. Okay. So that is the characteristic of prarabdha karma. Oh, by the way, everybody is familiar with Sanchita, Agami, and prarabdha karma. There are three types of karmas. Sanchita, coming from Chi Dhatu, that which is collected over many, many past births. Agami means future, Agami, that which is going to come in the future. And prarabdha means that which has now started in this birth. So it's Sanchita is past, Agami is future, and prarabdha is present. Now, upon realization, Sanchita and Agami get burnt right away. They don't have the power. So the knowledge is more powerful. So the Sanchita will get burnt, Agami will get burnt, and the prarabdha will remain. Now, the reason that Sanchita and Agami get burnt is because the doer gets burnt. See, if I have committed a crime, it's Gurudev's example is there, very nice. One prisoner was going to be hung until death. He had the punishment, and the next day morning, one morning, that was his day to get hung. And when the people walk in there, the guy is already dead. Now, who are they going to hang? He died in the cell overnight. That way, the ego is the one that has to undergo all this prarabdha karma, agami karma. Now this ego is only dead. Now there is nobody to experience. And therefore, Sanchita, Agami both get burnt. Prarabdha has to be experienced because the arrow has already been shot. So the prarabdha karma will bring fruits. Every karma, law of karma dictates that there will be a result. And that result could be good or bad. You experience it, let it go. Leave it, let it go. But none of these three of them, so Agami, Sanchita, and Prarabdha, Agami and Sanchita don't affect the realized master because they are burnt. They're gone, they're dead. Prarabdha doesn't affect him because of his perfect knowledge. Prarabdha is the one that is affecting us. because I think I got the disease. I got it because there's so much identification with the body. It never comes, my body is diseased. Every time, oh, what is this? What did I do? I got it. So it doesn't affect the realized master. It affects the ignorant person because of identification. Because the realized master is not identified with his body or her body, he knows that this is okay. Okay, that is why it says these three affects them who have realized Brahman and always lives. Once you identify with Brahman, you never come down. When the real realization takes place, you never come out of it. Understand? It's not like today I realized, then tomorrow I forgot, and day after tomorrow I realized. It is not like that. Once the knower of Brahman becomes Brahman. And once he becomes Brahman, he will remain Brahman, no matter what happens. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan says, even the greatest of sorrows don't affect him at all. The greatest of sorrow. Okay? So they are truly the transcendental Brahman. They, the realized masters, they are Brahman. Not that they have become Brahman, but they are. In Samadhi, there is no prarabdha karma as well. So I've underlined, I think, on the following pages, the 1, 2, 3rd paragraph, the last lines. Those who have lifted themselves from their identification with the BMI and are identified with the reality and remain there, then in those moments, to such individuals, there is no prarabdha also. Please understand this. What it is when a realized master goes into Samadhi, it is said that the body is protected by Prakriti. The totality protects the body. That's why we see Raman Maharshi going into long months and months of Samadhi event. There was no food. See, and the body survived. No water. Nothing was there to the body. Right? So, as though the body transcends prarabdha, because prarabdha is that I feel hungry. Why do I feel hungry? Because of prarabdha only. Why do I feel thirsty? Why do I feel like going out? Why do I feel like anything that I feel like doing is prarabdha karma? Now the person is in Samadhi. The body is there. Nothing the body will do. The body will be just stationary. That's why. Okay. Now, उपाधितादात्म्यविहीन केवल ब्रह्मात्मनैवात्मनि तिष्ठतो मुनेः प्रारब्ध सद्भाव कथान युक्ता स्वप्नार्थ संबंध कथेव जागृतः. The sage who is ever absorbed in his own self is Brahman, non-dual and free from limitations. The question of the existence of prarabdha is meaningless, just as the question of a man having anything to do with dream objects is meaningless when he has awakened. This prarabdha that we are discussing, first what he said, there is prarabdha for the saint. Okay. Now Bhagavan is saying there is no prarabdha. What does this mean? But means for us, for when we look at the realized master, there is prarabdha for the body. But from the standpoint of the realized master, who is now identified with Brahman totally, will he think he has prarabdha? So these are these two standpoints we have to understand, because actually Bhagavan, this is what Bhagavan Shankaracharya has done. Is that there is prarabdha for a saint, he said first. Now he's saying there is no prarabdha for the saint. But understand that we know that there are realized masters who have got disease, heart disease. Gurudev had, Ramakrishna Paramahansa had cancer, right, of the throat. So from our standpoint, that prarabdha is there. But from their standpoint, they don't even say this is, because this body is a shadow. It is an illusion. So they will not say this is, we think like that. That is to be understood. So because again, the example is swapnartha sambandha katheva jagrata. Once he has woken up, dream, when once we wake up from the dream, I've given this example to you many, many times. Do I have anything to do with that, whatever happened in the dream? Whether I won a lottery or I killed somebody or somebody killed me, do I have anything to do with it? That is how he is, because he has now woken up from this waking state into the fourth state. Now, whatever happens in the waking state, what is he going to give any importance to it? Now he knows it is an illusion, right? That is how it is to be. I have underlined this line in the last paragraph. Just enjoyment of prarabdha and experience of the infinite are on two different planes of consciousness. Prarabdha is in duality. Prarabdha is in this world. Prarabdha is in ignorance. But once I wake up to that higher reality, once the person wakes up, then all this appears like a dream alone. So there is no. So how can the last line, how can the individual who has withdrawn from the BMI be molested by the OET? The OET, objects, emotions, and thoughts, are prarabdha. Because of prarabdha, they are coming to me. And the ignorant person thinks, oh, this object came, let me enjoy. I like it, so I'll enjoy. I don't like it, so I'll discard it. Emotions come, thoughts come, and the ignorant person is taking ownership of them. I thought, that's why I did this, right? So he's taking. But the realized master, who has got no connection with the BMI at all now, connection only mentally, yes, body is there. For the other people to see, the body is there. This is whatever object came, what does it matter? Emotion came, what does it matter? Thought came, what does it matter? It's not me, somebody else is doing it. That's why I told you that Chaya Kaya Vivek is there, which I told you. Like whatever happens to the shadow, am I affected? Somebody may spit on it, some truck will go over it, somebody might throw rotten eggs at my shadow. I'm not going to be affected that way. That's why this Chaya Kaya Vivek also is very important. Nahi prabuddha pratibhas dehe dehopayoginyapi cha prapanche karotyahantam mamatamidantam kintu swayam tishtati jagarena. He who has awakened from sleep has no idea of I and mine with respect to the dream body, nor for the dream objects related to it. He lives ever awake as his own self. Once again, the dream state comes in mind. I told you these three states are very important because these are the states upon which the rishis meditated. There's nothing external we need for realizing our own self. We have to only analyze our own experiences. I'm awake, then I go into deep sleep, then I go into dream. And then what happens? While dreaming, I think it's so very real. I'm so very happy. I'm so very scared. I'm so very jealous. I'm running away from the tiger. I'm running towards something. And it is very real when the dream is happening. Then I wake up. Then what happens? Whatever is in the dream is totally forgotten, not given any importance at all. Now, he lives ever awake in his own self. He is now awake to the fourth state of Turiya. And therefore, anything that happens in this waking world does not affect him in any way. Last line, the last two lines I've underlined. The prarabdha of the dream world does not affect the waker. Okay, so this is our dream state and our waking state. Similarly, prarabdha cannot affect the man who is rooted in the higher experience. So the realized master has gone even beyond our waking state. He has gone into Turiya. Now, whatever happens in the waking state cannot affect him. Just like when I'm awake, whatever happened in the dream cannot affect me. Bhagwan is telling us again and again so that we can remember this. You know, when things happen to us, we can remember it. We should remember. We should remember and then carry on in life. Natasya mithyartha samarthanecha na sangrahastajagatopi drishtaha tatraanuvrittir yadi chen vrisharthe na nidraya mukta itishyate dhruvam. He does not wish to prove the unreal objects to be real, nor is it observed that he maintains the dream world. If he still holds on to the unreal objects, he is emphatically declared to be not yet free from sleep. So this he is referring to the realized master. He does not see, he knows that the world is an illusion. He is not going to try to prove it to anybody. They never, realized masters never come to us. We go to them to ask for things and, whatever, right? So just like, again, after waking up, I will have no desire to cash that lottery ticket that I won in the dream, or I'm not going to phone the police and say, you know what, I have committed a theft or a murder. Same way, the realized master has got, he is not going to prove or say anything about, he knows this is an illusion. It is, like there was a person who was sleeping and dreaming, and he was very, very scared, and he was, save me, save me, save me, he was saying. And there's a waking person awake in the same room. Now that person who has woken, he's awake and he's seeing this person in dream shouting, save me, save me, save me. How is he going to save him? From what is he going to save him? The only saving that can be done is to wake that person up. Wake up, you're dreaming, and you think you need saving from the tiger or whatever that you're seeing in your dream, but there is really no tiger. There is really no tiger. There's a joke, I've written it here. Anyway, there is this wise man, Mullah Nasiruddin. I think it's a mystic, thing. Anyway, so he was sleeping, and suddenly he woke up from his sleep, and he said, he told, his somebody who was there, bring my glasses quickly. They said, why? He said, I want to see my dream very clearly. I need my glasses to see this beautiful dream is going on. Just a joke. Anyway, the last line again is important. Same. Similarly, on realization, the objects of our waking world have as much significance as the dream objects have for the waker. Okay, this is dream and waking state. Tadvat pare brahmani vartamanaha sadatmanat tishtati nanya dikshate smritir yatha swapna vilokitarthe tada vidaprashana mochanadau. So too, the man who remains identified with the eternal reality does not perceive anything else. Just as one remembers having seen the objects in the dream, the realized man remembers his day-to-day acts of eating, etc. So once again, once I have woken up from my dream, then I know I can, sometimes I don't even remember the dream. Sometimes I remember, even if I remember the dream, I don't feel very happy about it or sad about it, whatever that has happened. Same way, like he wakes up to the higher reality, then as if in the dream, his bodily actions go on. He will eat, he will take bath, he will do it, talk to people, but they're like as if he's in a dream. Most realized masters, like they say, even actually Lord Shiva, they say, the eyes are half closed. They're not completely closed, they're half closed. And the reason is that they're closed to the external world. That half closure is to the external world. And where that half open eyes are there, they are very open to the reality, the true reality. That's why we have that verse 72 in chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita. The one who sleeps when everybody is awake, and the one who is awake when everybody is asleep. And Gurudev said, yes, I know who it is. It's a night watchman. No, it's not a night watchman. The realized master is asleep to this glittering world. He's asleep. Whereas an ignorant person, thinking the world to be very, very real, is constantly engaged in worldly activities. So the realized master is asleep to that, but he is awake to the higher reality to which the ignorant person is completely ignorant about. That is how it is. So this is what is being said. He is, once he sees Brahman, he cannot see. This is, the hologram that you see. Have you, there's a picture, and then they say there is a cow in there or a giraffe in there, and then we look and look and look, and nobody can see it. But suddenly when some person gets it, he never loses it. Have you noticed that? Once a person gets it now, immediately he will always, yes, I can see that cow, I can see that giraffe, I can, whatever that animal or whatever that is, that person, he will never lose it. They say this recognizing Brahman is like that. Very, very difficult. Not everybody can do it. But once one person gets it, he will never lose it. It's like that hologram. Hologram example is given. कर्मणा निर्मितो देहः प्रारब्धं तस्य कल्प्यतां नानादेरात्मनो युक्तं नैवात्मा कर्म निर्मितः. The body has been fashioned by prarabdha. So one accepts that relates to the body, but it is not reasonable to attribute it to the self, for the Atman is never the result of any earlier work. Okay. Prarabdha karma it is. Karma is in ignorance. Karma is in duality. Karma, the law of karma dictates that there will be a result. So what is being said, the body has been fashioned by prarabdha, who I have done karmas in the past, which have to give results. And everything that is the height of the body, the weight of the body, the color of the eyes, the health, the mental makeup, intellectual makeup, everything I have designed it myself in my previous births. Everything. There is no blame game. There is no Ishvara who is doing it. I have only drawn my, how you draw the blueprints of the house. Then the architect draws, then you say, yes, I want this year, this year, this year. Then he will go and build the house. It's not his responsibility. You okayed the blueprint, or you drew it yourself. You said, this is where I want the kitchen. This is where I want the living room. This is how the bedroom should be. That way, we have fashioned our own body, mind, and intellect. By how? By doing such karmas. Okay. And therefore, that is how the body here means body, mind, intellect. Huh? And Atma, it doesn't relate to Atma because the Atma is not a product of karma. It is not born. Atma is not born. Jivatma is not born. That's why I've always told you the Jiva was always there. That's why when we say my son, my son, my son, my daughter, the Jiva is not our son or daughter. It's only the body. The Jiva was already there. If it is my son, I have only created the body. Parents only create the body, the shell, the house. And then the Jiva enters, which was already present from before. It had got nothing to do with the parents. The Jiva said, I want this type of parents because this is what I want to exhaust. This type of vasanas I want to exhaust. So I need this type of environment. I've always given you the example of Arthur Ashe, the great tennis player whose father was a gardener at Wimbledon Gardens. Gardener, ordinary gardener. But then he had to become, so right from childhood, he was picking up the tennis balls and watching tennis matches over there, right? So that Jiva picked those parents. Ordinary, very ordinary parents. Gardener, he was mowing the lawns there, his father. But look what he came up with. He became one of the greatest tennis players. I can never forget that. Okay.
Hariom Daraji, can I interrupt?
Yeah.
For the 458 and the last one, it says the realized man remembers his day-to-day acts of eating and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that work?
I remember my dream, na?
Uh-huh.
So like dream, he remembers.
Okay.
Right?
So this is still with the dream only. It's not the
it's dream and waking. He is comparing our so that we can understand.
Okay.
Because we have all had some or the other dream at some point. And then when we wake up, that's why I said some dreams we remember. Sometimes it happens to, I know that I have dreamt, but I don't have a clear picture of what I dreamt. Sometimes it is very clear what I dreamt. It's very, very clear to me. That way, this person, when he does these things, it's like, okay, I've done this. He's not losing his memory. Okay. All right.
Thanks.
Any other question? Okay, this is one thing I've in this 459 I've underlined in the last paragraph, the first couple lines. When the teacher says that prarabdha is not for the man of realization, he means that there is no prarabdha for the self, as the self is not created by past actions. Okay, so there is prarabdha for the body, but there is no prarabdha for the self. The one who is identified with the self, he sees his own body as a shadow. So then whatever happens to the shadow, he is not affected by that. We are not identified with the self, we are identified with the body. So whatever happens to the body, it has happened to me. I got insulted. Somebody said something to me. My body got sick. My body had this, that, and everything. Okay. Now he is quoting Shruti. Whatever he said, he's quoting Shruti in 416. Ajo nitya shashvataiti brute shrutiramo tadatmana tishtatosya kuta prarabdha kalpana. The Atman is birthless, eternal, and undecaying. Such is the absolute declaration of Shruti. How can prarabdha be attributed to him who has ever identified with that? And Bhagavan Shankar, in the footnotes, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 20, Ajo Nitya Shashvato Yam Puranam. That is from Kathopanishad. The two verses 19 and 20 of chapter 2 have been one word, I think Bhagavan has changed, otherwise it's bodily lifted from Kathopanishad, where it is said that this Atma is unborn and deathless, and the changes in between, the 6 modifications that happen to the body comes into existence, it takes birth, it grows, it changes, it decays, and it dies. These are the 6 modifications that are happening to the body. And I think they are happening to me. I am getting old. I am this thing. No, thought should be this is happening to the body and I have got nothing to do with it. Just today, a friend of mine was saying, oh, I feel the same inside. Everybody says that. We feel inside because why? We are the same inside. We are not unborn. We are not born. We are not going to die. But body, yes, body is going to die. In Vedanta, there are 3 things. First thing is Shruti. Okay, whatever Shruti says is correct. That Shruti has to be supported by Yukti, which is logic. And then the third one is Anubhuti, which is experience. So whatever Shruti says has to be put to a logical test. And Shruti will pass unless we are doing wicked logic. Wicked logic is like cow has 4 legs, this thing has 4 legs, the table has 4 legs, so table is cow. That is wicked logic. So if we apply correct logic, Shruti will be proven. And then Anubhuti, experience also is there. All 3 have to be proved. This is where, see, best example is the Shunyavadin Buddhists who said that this world has come from nothing. They say that this world has come from nothing. So Bhagavan said, in this life, in our real life, you show me a thing which can come out of nothing, like make a pot without any clay. So experience was not supporting that argument. See, an argument is made, there has to be logic also, and there has to be experience also. That's why I've always told you that this superimposition theory, which Bhagavan, on which is based the entire Advaita philosophy, it happens in our life. Haven't you, did I tell in this, I can't remember which class I do. I was walking in the parking lot. Oh, That's a $20 bill. So I went a little bit closer, bent, and I'm like, no, 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 don't touch it. It's something else. That is superimposed. It happens. It happens. I was walking there near the river, previously, and then I thought, oh, there's a snake. Then it was a rubber tubing, cycle rubber tubing was, like this. And I thought, oh, snake. So it happens. That is what Bhagwan says, even to a cow. That's how he starts his bhashya on Brahma Sutras. He says, if you go and stand in front of a cow, you have hay in your hand, hay which the cow likes, but you're holding it like this up as a stick. The cow will think you have come to hit her. Even the cow superimposes. So that's why Bhagwan says that superimposition is there. It is our person is walking in the hot sun in the desert. People have seen mirage waters. People see it. But that's why he said, you show me an illusion without a substratum. You show me a movie in the air. Show me. Can't. That's why these three things, because from now on, he's going to give logic. Shruti has said, he said, then to back up whatever he said, he gave Shruti. The Ajo, Nitya and Shashvata is from Bhagavad Gita, brother, every Upanishad, Kathopanishad, everything, right? We have seen that. Atma is unborn, eternal, deathless, changeless, everything, everything. Iti brute Shrutihi. Shruti says that. So therefore, the one who has now identified completely with that Brahman, how can there be? There cannot be any birth for him. There cannot be any death for him. There cannot be any modifications for him. In actual life also, that's why inside we don't feel any modification. And like Gurudev always said, do you remember your birth? We can't, because we are not born. We were not born. That's why. And we won't even know our death. We won't know that. Now, next one, logic. Prarabdham siddhyati tada yada dehatmana sthitihi dehatma bhavo naiveshtaha prarabdham tyajyatamataha. Only as long as one lives identified with one's body can one accept prarabdha work. But no one accepts that a man of realization ever identifies himself with his body. Hence, in his case, prarabdha world should be rejected. So, if I think I am the body, then yes, prarabdha is for me, because I am the body. That's where my identification is. But when I disidentify with the body, as a realized master, when he is in actuality, he has disidentified from the body, he cannot have any prarabdha is for the body. That's all I told you. For us, at least let's start thinking that I am not the body. That's the very basic thing that we must do. We may not know who we are, Atma and Jeev, but I don't know what I am, but don't think that I am the body. Separate yourself. Yes, Ramesh.
Yeah, Jayaji, I have a question, just a clarification. When somebody is liberated, so what really gets liberated? Atma is birthless. So who gets liberated? Is that the Jiva?
Excellent question. Because truly, see how okay, let's think, who gets liberated?
And my one more thing I want to say is when you somebody gets liberated and he becomes one with the Brahman, he loses the identity totally. So what would be the benefit of liberation?
Benefit? Oh, no. Benefit of liberation?
Yeah, you don't have to take birth.
Paramananda Prapti, na?
Yeah.
Liberation is...
Who gets the benefit?
That question is very valid. It's a very interesting question. A lot of discussion is okay. I'll explain that. But this one you understand. What is the benefit? Never asked.
Right. No, I understand.
Atyantika Dukha Nivrutti Paramananda Prapti. Now, the question of liberation, see, we say that the Jiva is false. You're right. Right? Jiva is false. So, and Atma is already liberated. So exactly who gets liberated is the one, what is liberation is change of the wrong notion. The jiva is actually illusory, but I think it is real, na? Right? What is my notion? What is my notion? Don't I say I got hurt? Somebody said something to me.
My
I am,
question is, who am I?
I have got this headache. I have got pain in my leg and whatever. I have got heart disease. I've got murmur, n number of things, right?
Right. My question is, who am I? When you say, I think I have the wrong notion, but who's I?
It is
Is
the
that the
jiva.
Atma?
It is jivatma. No,
Jiva.
it is atma by mistake identified with the body, mind, intellect.
Okay.
That's why it is called as jivatma.
Yeah.
This jivatma feels that he is bound. There is no
Jivatma is the one who
bondage.
gets liberated.
There is, see, let's think about bondage also. I've explained this in Bhagavad Gita, but I'll explain it again. Think about bondage. Are the senses getting bound? Start with the grossest, right? Sense. So take eyes. If the eyes were bound, suppose I like blue color very much. Now, if the eyes were getting bound to blue color, because I'm attached, I love blue color, will the eyes be able to see all other colors? Right? Eyes can see, so eyes will see blue, immediately they look somewhere else, they'll forget the blue, they'll see the red, they'll see the yellow. So eyes are not getting, means all the senses, like smell. I might like a particular fragrance, rose fragrance. That doesn't mean that I will not smell any other flower.
Right.
So senses are not getting attached. They are not bound. Okay, mind. No, not senses. Mind gets attached. Mind gets bound. If mind also was bound, suppose if I was attached to my child or my grandchild and that bondage is there, I must not be able to think of anything else in the world because my mind is bound to that child. Does that happen? No matter how much I love my grandchild, I am here sitting and talking now about this, or am I talking only about my grandchild? That means the mind also is not getting attached.
Right.
Therefore, actually, there is no bondage. Actually, this concept of bondage is illusory in itself. But I find myself bound. I feel like I'm bound because I have identified with the body, mind, and intellect. So because I say I'm a female, I'm 5'4". I'm a mother of 2 children. I'm a this, I'm a that. Right? That's why we have to shift our thinking. There has to be a paradigm shift in thinking, saying that I am not the body, I am not bound, I can never be bound. I think that's why birthday I will celebrate, na, right away. There is nothing to celebrate. There was no birth.
I again is the jiva, which should not think that you are bound.
Small I is thinks that it is bound, and that is what will get released. What is released, what is realization is correction of incorrect thinking. That's it. For births and births, I have thought I am the body. And I mean body, mind, intellect. Okay?
Okay.
I have to now change it to I am not the body, mind, and intellect.
Thank you.
Sorry, I have a question on that. It's kind of interesting to attend the class and understand all this, but to actually be in that state is something absolutely, it's not only the mind share, but it's also the, okay, although it is false, but when we are in the body, we identify, ingrained so much so it is absolutely, I find it, okay, at least to me, I find it is very difficult.
Yeah. No, you are correct, because It's not just this birth. For many, many births, we have done it. Okay. And to change that mindset, we are going to need many more births. So let's begin now. That's why I'm saying, at least let's remember when something goes wrong with our body, when somebody hurts me, when somebody insults me, that is where chapter 14 will also help. That it is because of the gunas that this is happening. I have got nothing to do with the gunas. At least let's think that way. It needs a lot of study. I mean, it's not that easy. It is not easy.
But
It is
what
not
we
easy.
learn, we carry over into the next birth, right? Whatever knowledge we gain,
Yes,
what
yes.
we are doing right now, we are not losing it.
No. Chapter 6, Bhagavan will say, like you've done up to grade 5, then in next birth, you will start with grade 6. Whatever that you have done, you never lose it.
Right.
That's why we see people who stray away from the path, but they will not lose it. They've done this much, that will remains with them. That remains with them. So that's why we should do, now we have got a human birth, let's do as much as we can. So that then in the future births, we will continue from there onwards. And it is not, Vedanta is not easy, huh? It needs practice. That's why the hammering. I told you how much hammering he's doing, Bhagwan Shankaracharya, right? Just like,
Is it a Nididhyasana verse?
sorry?
Is it Nididhyasana verse? It is something to be, repeatedly, the thinking over it again and again, recollecting and reading, like you said, very correctly said, the knowledge is being reiterated. That has got to be done in an hour, even that eyes in falls.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Every experience that we go through, we must that's why I give you many, like Updesh Sar, Raman Maharshi, I got hurt. Who is the one that got hurt? Do that. Or okay, the hurt came because I did some karma in my past. Because of what? This is my prarabdha. Do that. Whatever is easy for you. These are all or knowledge. That's why chapter 2, 12 and 14, all three he has given the characteristics of a Jivan Mukta Purusha. But how they have reached there is in different methods. So Jnani, Sthita Prajna is a Jnani. So he has recognized himself to be that reality. And so he is exhibiting the same characteristics. Say, let's take one character. Tulya Ninda Stuti is there. Tulya, Saman, equal. Ninda, censure, criticism. Stuti is praise. Okay. So there is praise and there is criticism. And both these are Saman to the one who has gained it through knowledge. So he says, I'm Brahman. The praise and this thing is to that intellect, which is not me. So this is how his mindset is. The Bhakta says, if the praise has come, God, my Ishta Devata gave it to me. If the criticism has come, my Ishta Devata gave it to me. So that is his mindset, but the result is the same. Tulya Ninda Stuti. And the Gunatita Purusha, again in 14, he will say the same thing. Tulya Ninda Stuti, same thing he will say. He says, this is the play of the gunas. What has it got to do with me? So take your pick, and we can use all three. We have studied all three, right? So sometimes we say, I am Brahman, whatever got to do with the mind. Sometimes you say, this is the gunas, this person's gunas are acting out. Therefore, the person said something to me or didn't say something to me or whatever. Sometimes you use that. Sometimes you use that. Sometimes use who am I? I have used who am I? I have used it because when I first heard, that's why I know its efficacy. I know it works. You face that I. Face that. What we do, we don't face the I. I am angry. Now, what should I do? Anger. And now we're getting carried away with anger. We don't stop and we turn around. So what we do is, anger is immediately you check yourself and you say, okay, who is angry? Who is angry? Forget the anger part. Who? When you go to the subject, the anger dissolves, the jealousy dissolves, the greed dissolves. That's why I have to tell you, this is in your own lab. You know how in science we would read the theory, then go into the chemistry lab and actually do it. You know, mix the acids, or physics lab, sound travels, this, that. We actually did it. So in Vedanta, our body, mind, intellect is our lab. It is our personal lab. Now you hear this, you do it in your own laboratory. Self-analysis. Do it and see it works. That's why I'm convinced. I have done it. So we have to go on studying, and then someday we will reach.
Can I have
We are on the path.
Can I have one more question?
Of course you can.
On a transactional level, when, for example, like me, at this kind of stage of the life, have so many bindings, you know, in terms of people, possessions, and everything. How, I'm not mixing subject, I'm just the prarabdha and everything, how whole thing is built up. I understand when you mentioned about the jnani, but being not jnani, how does the transactional world appear to the ajnani?
Transactional world appears very real to the ajnani, right? You're doing your transactions, you're working, maybe you're earning money, or you're retired, your pension, this thing, that thing, that thing. Now, at our level, that's why I'm saying we should have an intellectual understanding that, yes, this is all going on, but it is an illusion. At the end of the day, it is an illusion. Therefore, the sayings like, even this too shall pass, should be kept in mind. Intellectually, we have understood now.
That's right, yes.
Realization has not happened. Okay, it is not going to happen like that overnight. Okay, which is fine, But we are studying. We are thinking about it, right? So that is how it should be. The spiritual evolution, you will know, see, we get upset how soon we come back into balance. So maybe previously it was taking us 2 months, 3 months, but now maybe weeks, then days, then hours, then minutes, and then we don't lose our balance. That is the ladder of spiritual evolution. That's where the barometer is. Like, how do I know that I'm evolving spiritually? See, in chapter 14, I'm doing with the Saturday class, Sattvic Sukha is there. Bhagavan says, Sattva also binds. There are the 3 gunas, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Okay, Rajas, Tamasa impurities, they bind, we can understand. Sattva also, yes, Sattva also binds. It's a golden chain. But chain is a chain. It's a golden, guna is rope. So rope will bind, whether it is made of gold or silver or bronze or whatever, thread, cloth. So he says sattva binds to happiness. What happiness is that? See, when things are very conducive to, whatever is going on around me, I'm very happy. How do I know that I'm not bound by that? When things change, what is happening to my mind? Everything is going very smoothly. For me, there is a routine and everything. But suddenly, this actually, a friend of mine phoned a few months ago, this happened. Nice, I had my great plan. This is what I'll do. And I'm very happy with it. Now she phoned, Jaya, my husband is in the hospital. I'm like, what happened? Lada, do. Then my whole plan was gone. That when I'm attached to that, that I have planned my day and this is how it will happen. And when it happens, I feel very happy. But there will be a time when it will not happen like that. Then how is my mind? If my mind is still at peace, I accept, okay, today suddenly this thing happened, she needs my help. So my schedule goes out the door and I'm going to go there and help her out. Am I getting irritated by it? That is what bondage. That's why actually there is no bondage. But when I feel miserable, I'm bound. He says sattva attaches to happiness and jnana. Their jnana is vritti jnana, the knowledge that I have got. And for us, when the Acharya told us, he said, now you will go out and do, this is for the brahmacharis, you will go do prachar work. When you do your lecture, there will be some people who will come and praise you, and then there'll be some people who will not praise you. They will criticize you. And if you are getting happy with the praise and you're getting depressed with this, then you're bound. You're bound to that knowledge, because knowledge is coming out of sattva. Sattva is knowledge. Rajas is activity. And in Rajas, what he says is you're bound to the action. You're running around with a to-do list all the time in the mind. This is what I do, this is what I do, this is what I do. I told you, there are people who go to other people's houses and start cleaning. Oh, why you clean? Talk to me now. You came to my house. Talk. Let's sit. This is real, huh? This is not, I'm not joking. That is bound to rajas, that is. Can't sit quietly. How will you study even? And tamas is to pramad.
It reminds me, like, this whole thing you can picture, because in your own family, there are so many different sets of people having different natures, and you can realize the play of the gunas. And this is so easy to, once you've started studying, it's so easy to start looking and reflecting on that you will understand. You definitely will understand this whole, I mean, you can really prove, as you said, you've gone through it, because see, all of us here, our whole family is not studying. One of us or two of us, or maybe retired people, okay, two of us. Everybody doesn't like studying. No. Everybody doesn't get into this. Even if you talk about it, what are you talking? They don't even understand.
No.
So it is the play of the gunas. It is the play, and it is also your own nature that works, and that is the gunas, of course. But your own bhakti or whatever you consider, it does happen, and you will start realizing this as soon as this whole thing. Those are the pieces of jigsaw. It just fits. Once you start studying, then it just fits. You start realizing.
So see, now that we have the knowledge, now we should self-analyze. Huh? It is not meant for analyzing anybody else, but self-analyze. And that way you have a little bit more sympathy towards us, what to do. This person is very rajasic, what to do? Okay, here's a list. Why don't you do all my work calls? Is best, to-do list for them, keep it ready, let them. So that's how you work through it. But then look at your own mind. That is very important. Is your mind at peace? Whatever you do, your mind should be at peace. Okay. All right. We'll continue next time, and we will start with 462. Okay. Friday, today, Saturday, Sunday, there is a class, and Monday also there is a class. And Monday we are starting discussion. Okay. And Sunday there'll be the chapter 4. So all classes are on. Yeah. Next week I'll tell about next week. So then this week there is all classes. Om swasti prajabhya paripalayantam nyayena margena mahim mahishaha go brahmanebhya shubhamastu nityam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu kale varshatu parjanyah prithvi sasya shalini desho yam kshobarahita brahmana santu nirbhayaha. Om sarvesham swasti bhavatu sarvesham shantir bhavatu sarvesham purnam bhavatu sarvesham mangalam bhavatu sarve bhavantu sukhinah sarve santu niramayaha sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschid dukha bhag bhavet. Om asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om purnamadav purnamidam purnat purnamudachyate purnasya purnamadaya purnameva avashishyate. Om shanti shanti shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.